This morning I'm continuing on a topic of right livelihood, which we started yesterday. And livelihood, even in English, the word says it plainly, live-hood. What do we do to stay alive? How do we stay alive? It's an action spoke on the wheel of the Eightfold Path. Often the Eightfold Path is visioned as a wheel with 8 spokes, and when it gets wobbly, there's more dukkha, that we try to keep it kind of evenness with these spokes. And this action, it doesn't arise without intentions, without motivations, thoughts, and feelings that move us to act. So livelihood isn't just about behavior, it's about the inner and outer movements of sustaining our life. In my talks, I've taken to characterizing certain aspects of reflective meditation, and today I'm considering us as a broadening the definition tradition. So we encourage ourselves to look more deeply into how we define things and gently open it up a little bit more, bring in some more threads. I'm going to continue here with the little bit what we started yesterday, which is livelihood or work is not only employment. So if we consider livelihood as doing the work of, for example, preparing for surgery, one of our Sangha members is having surgery this morning. And it takes a lot of preparation to get ready, to go into something that's that unknown and invasive to your body, but it's supposed to be positive and help you. Work is also doing caring for our aging bodies, and it's grieving losses and staying in relationships. That these are, we often use the word work around this. And it's doing the work of trying to stay sane amid, for us, egregious behavior of leaders. So really today for me it includes the work of trying to remain sane when the forces around me pull me towards dehumanizing the people who are doing the egregious behavior. So yesterday we talked about our meditation rather than doing interviews, and a few of you spoke up, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my meditation. It paralleled the kind of rethinking about the U.S. history and how wars keep repeating, how cover-ups keep repeating. And the question was asked, what keeps it going? And it was a very sincere question. Actually, it came up in my meditation too. And even though I know the stock answer of the poisons, greed, hatred, delusion, the question really feels unanswerable to me right now. We've not stopped human beings from doing abhorrent things. So in the meditation, I was, contemplating this, and then I hear my neighborhood birds sing. I have really beautiful birds here. It's kind of like living in Disneyland at times, or a Disney movie, not Disneyland, Disney movie where all those little blue birds sing. And just saw kind of the nature continuing, the cycles imperfectly. It's, summer here in the middle of winter, although technically it should be spring. The cycles aren't the same, but they are cycling. And then I, thought, babies are being born today. People are falling in love. Meals are being cooked. The world is moving, is continuing to move. And it's not atypical to have in a receptive meditation practice these threads that kind of go back and forth. And then they interweave. And yesterday a third part came in, the waves of grief as I'm devastated by the U.S. bombing of Iran. And the pain of living and dying has been with me for a long time. It's really what, since an early age, knowing illness, loss, and accident, those have led me to seeking the Dharma. But there was something different about this intentional, is what it felt to me, intentional greed. hatred, harm, and it hurt differently by looking at that kind of intention. It felt very piercing. Harm that's chosen, that's cultivated, that's weaponized. And that intention, I couldn't wrap my head around it. And so, I'm back at Right Livelihood now, and it, kind of asking, well, what sustains my life during those times? This path unfolds in the middle of this reactivity, because I would say I'm very reactive right now. It's not, the path doesn't come outside of it. It's like I can't just go get calm and then work on the Eightfold Path. It really has to come in the midst of all of this. So, right now for me today, I can only answer, it seems, for a short period of time. It includes sustaining some sanity. And how many people does it take for me to remain sane? More than one. I need a lot of support in grief. I need conversation. I need community. And I'm fortunate that my livelihood is not solitary, yet it includes solitariness. That we're solitary in meditation and then come together to share. There's something very comforting and stabilizing about that rhythm. This solitude and then contact, and then solitude and contact. But the other part of sanity is, not letting hatred take over my nervous system, and take over my heart and my mind. And that's hard to do. It's like the work of metabolizing outrage. And knowing ourselves and our needs is part of that metabolization process. It's core, it seems core for refraining from harm. And what do you all need? You may not need as many people. You may need something different. But that's part of our encouragement of a provisional fourth mark of existence, is that we all have different needs. And so many people in the world right now are affected by intentional and unintentional harm. And they don't even have the privilege to contemplate their needs. This is like, I hear, see, read about this daily. Their lives are so different from mine in that way, from ours in that way. So as I was writing this, I felt like a parrot. Like I'm just parroting things that I know and rely upon when I'm down, because I can't do more complex thinking in states like this. And yet this coexists with other days. When I'm more creative ideas come more easily, complications can be seen more clearly. And my insights feel more alive and dynamic. Today that feels further away, but I also know how changeable the states of mind and body are. And really, it's likely by lunch something will shift. I mean, it can sometimes be that quick, sometimes not. But that's part of sanity too, is remembering the teachings, remembering impermanence when I can't feel it directly. And so sometimes the most important work, livelihood, is just simply staying human in human times. And that's what I'm asking for today for myself. So I think I will end here. Thank you all for listening and being here, showing up for our practice.